The rain patters against my window, forming tiny streams that blur the Seattle skyline in the distance. I'm perched cross-legged on my couch, gazing at a lone chocolate cupcake resting on the coffee table. A single unlit candle sits in its center forlorn. Today, I turn 30, the big 30, and not a soul seems to recall. For the 15th time in 10 minutes, I glance at my phone. No missed calls, no messages, just my own face staring back from the blank screen. The wall clock ticks to 8 p.m., its sound heavy with finality. A quiet deflation settles within me. It's official now, my milestone birthday has passed without a single nod from those who brought me into this world. I unlock my phone and, against my better judgment, open Instagram knowing it's a recipe for emotional self-destruction. My thumb scrolls almost on its own until I land on what I knew I'd find, my sister Camille's latest post. There she is, glowing at her piano recital last night, fingers poised elegantly over the keys. 78 likes already. My mother's comment sits at the top, our brilliant star. Your father and I couldn't be prouder of your stunning performance. Dade's follows right after, that's my girl. Mozart himself would tip his hat. The familiar ache tightens my throat. 30 years of this pattern, and it still cuts as deeply as it did the first time. I close Instagram and swipe to my camera roll, pulling up photos of the boutique hotel redesign I finished last month. The warm glow of the lighting, the perfect fusion of modern luxury and historical charm. My work, which earned industry praise and a hefty bonus. A tear lands on the screen, warping the image of my proudest professional triumph. I wipe it away with my sleeve. No one's ever going to celebrate you, Emery. I murmur to myself, my voice small in the quiet of my empty apartment. Not the way they celebrate her. A memory creeps in uninvited me at 10, sitting in the living room in a pink dress sent by my grandmother for my birthday. My hair neatly brushed, a hopeful smile fixed on my face. Hurry up, we can't be late for Camille's recital. Mom had called, rushing past without truly seeing me. But what about my party? My small voice had asked, barely audible. Dad had ruffled my hair distractedly. Next weekend, kiddo. We'll celebrate then. We never did. That was when I first learned to fade into the background of my own life, to expect nothing and be thankful for even less, to cheer for Camille's spotlight while I stood in the shadows, clapping louder than anyone else. Another tear falls, and I brush it away, irritated with myself. I'm 30, not 10. I should be past this by now. The cupcake remains untouched, its chocolate frosting slightly stiff from sitting too long. I reach for it, then pause. What am I even celebrating? Another year of being unseen. Another milestone spent alone while my family forgets I exist. No, not this time. I square my shoulders and open my laptop. My bank account balance appears 97,342.16. Built from years of careful saving and that recent 68 salos in bonus from the hotel project. Money no one knows about because no one ever asked. I stare at the numbers, my finger hovering over my phone. A reckless, almost dangerous thought takes shape, yet for the first time in hours, my heart pulses with something other than disappointment. I hit the call button. Seattle Audi, this is Trevor. How may I help you? A cheerful voice answers. Hi, I say, my voice steadier than I expected. Do you have any Q5s available? Well, sure do. Several models, in fact. Were you thinking of stopping by for a test drive? I glance at the untouched cupcake, the rain-streaked window, the phone that hasn't buzzed all day. Actually, I'm thinking of buying one. Today? Today, Trevor sounds caught off guard. Well, we're open for another hour. I'd be happy to start the paperwork if you're serious. I am. I say, a new resolve rising within me. Very serious. I hang up and stand, catching my reflection in the window. For a moment I barely recognize myself, the straightened spine, the lifted chin, the spark in my eyes that feels almost like defiance. If they won't celebrate me, I tell my reflection, I'll celebrate myself. I grab my keys and wallet, leaving the lonely cupcake behind. The rain has stopped, and somewhere beyond the clouds, there might even be stars. For the first time in 30 years, I'm giving myself the gift I deserve. Have you ever had to mark your own milestone because no one else remembered? Share in the comments below. 40 minutes later, the Audi dealership shines under spotlights, the showroom floor gleaming like wet pavement after a storm. I push through the glass doors, my heart pounding a nervous rhythm against my ribs. A man in a sharp button-down approaches, his smile polished, practiced, sizing me up as a potential buyer. "Welcome to Seattle, Audi. I'm Trevor." His handshake is firm, assured. "What brings you in tonight?" "I called earlier about the Q5. I say, my voice steadier than I feel. "I'd like to buy one. Today." Trevor blinks, a flicker of surprise crossing his face. "Of course, let me show you our selection." He guides me through the showroom, where sleek vehicles catch the overhead lights in smooth curves. In the corner, a midnight blue Q5 sits, almost watchful, as if it's been waiting for me. I trace my fingers along its glossy surface, seeing my reflection bend in the paint. A woman with purpose in her stride. "I can start the paperwork if you'd like to test drive it first." Trevor offers. "No need." I straighten my shoulders. This is the one? In the finance office, a woman with silver, streaked hair slides forms across a polished desk. When we reach the payment section, she looks up expectantly. "How will you be financing this purchase?" "I'll put down 60,000 in cash," I say, the words feeling foreign on my tongue. "I'll finance the rest." Her eyebrows lift slightly, a subtle sign of surprise I've grown used to noticing. People have always underestimated me. "That's quite substantial," she says, tapping her keyboard. "May I ask about your employment, Ms. Blake?" "Interior architect," I reply. "I recently completed a boutique hotel redesign." I don't mention the industry recognition or the bonus. Let them wonder. My signature looks unfamiliar on the final papers, my hand trembling slightly despite my resolve. The key fob feels solid in my palm, weighty, real. Mine. "Congratulations on your new Audi," Trevor says, standing beside the car as if he had a hand in crafting it. I catch my reflection again in the deep blue paint, the overhead lights casting a halo around my figure. For a moment I barely recognize myself, the set of my shoulders, the tilt of my chin, something new. Back home, I park in front of my apartment building, stealing glances at the car as I head to my door. It looks defiant under the streetlights. Inside, I pull out my phone and scroll to Instagram. My finger hovers over the camera icon before I grab my jacket and head back out. This needs to be done right. 30 minutes later, I'm at Cary Park. The Seattle skyline stretches before me, the Space Needle glowing against the night sky. I position my new Audi with the city lights as a backdrop, adjusting the angle until it's perfect, the midnight blue exterior reflecting the city's glow like a mirror. I snap several photos, choosing the best one. The caption takes longer than the shoot. I type and delete, my thumbs moving nervously across the screen. Finally, I settle on "Happy birthday to me." Dream car, dream life. My finger lingers over the post button for a full minute. This isn't just about the car. It's a declaration, a statement of my worth that my family has never made. I press post before I can second-guess myself. Notifications flood in almost instantly. Colleagues from the design firm, college friends, old classmates. Likes pile up alongside surprised comments. "Oh my God, Emery. What a beauty! Happy birthday! You deserve it. Didn't know you were in the market for an Audi. Congrats." I'm savoring a moment of vindication when my phone buzzes with a call. Mother. I stare at her name for 3 rings before answering. "Emery Jean Blake," she says, my full name. A bad sign. "Where did you get that kind of money?" "No happy birthday. No how are you." Just immediate suspicion. "Hello to you too, Mom," I say, leaning against the Audi's hood, feeling its solid presence beneath me. "I earned it." "That car costs more than most people make in a year," she says. "Harold, come talk to your daughter about this car she's apparently bought." I hear rustling as the phone changes hands. "Emery." Dad's voice carries the same tone as when I was 16 and broke curfew. "Is this some kind of lease? Because financially, this seems, it's mine, Dad, mostly paid in cash." The words taste sweet. "From my bonus on the Fairmont project." Silence stretches. I can almost hear him recalculating, reassessing. "Well," he says, his voice unsteady, "that seems impulsive." My phone pings with a text. "Camille." I glance at the preview like, wow. Didn't think you could afford something like that. Mom and Dad freaking out, lol. The family group chat erupts seconds later, messages piling up about my sudden extravagance, an unexpected purchase. Not one mentions what day it is. Mother's voice returns. "We need to discuss this as a family. Dinner tomorrow night, 6 p.m. sharp. Is this an invitation or a summons?" I ask, surprised by my own boldness. "This is family, Emery." We're concerned. I glance at my watch. 9:43 p.m. My birthday is nearly over, still unacknowledged. I'll be there, I say finally. But I'll drive myself. After hanging up, I slide into my new car, hands resting on the premium leather steering wheel. The silence wraps around me like a warm blanket. Tomorrow will be a reckoning, but tonight is still mine. I start the engine and head toward downtown. The streets are quieter now, most commuters gone. I find a small bakery near Pike Place, still open late. The bell chimes as I step inside. "You caught us just before closing," says a woman wiping down the counter. "What can I get you?" "A birthday cake," I say softly. "A small one." She shows me a simple chocolate cake with buttercream frosting. Any message? I hesitate briefly. "Happy birthday, Emery." From me to me. Her eyes meet mine with quiet understanding as she pipes the message in elegant script. No questions, just a sympathetic smile as she boxes it up. "Hope it's a good one, despite everything," she says, sliding the box across the counter. Back in the car, I place the cake carefully on the passenger's seat. In the window's reflection, I see a woman I'm starting to recognize. Someone who's decided her worth isn't up for debate. The cake sits beside me like a silent passenger as I drive through rain, slicked streets, heading home to finish celebrating the birthday no one else remembered. The next evening, my Audi's tires crunch on the familiar gravel driveway of my parents' Bellevue home. I park deliberately beside Dad's practical sedan. The contrast between our cars a tangible symbol of our differences. Through the large bay window I glimpse their silhouettes. Mom, Dad, and Camille, watching my arrival. Their expressions shift from judgment to surprise as they take in the gleaming vehicle. I sit for a moment, hands gripping the wheel. The cake box rests on the passenger seat, its message hidden like a quiet time bomb. I take a deep breath. 30 years of unspoken words press against my throat. Today is different. I whisper to my reflection in the rearview mirror. I gather the cake box and step into the cool evening air. Mom opens the door before I reach it.
"Emery, what a surprise!"
Her eyes flick past me to the Audi, then back to my face. "Come in, dinner's almost ready." Dad stands in the foyer, arms crossed. "That's quite a vehicle you've got there." "Yes, it is," I say, offering nothing more as I brush past him, holding the cake box carefully. Camille hovers nearby, curiosity and discomfort warring on her face. "Hey, Em, nice car." The dining room looks unchanged, the polished maple table where we've celebrated countless milestones. Mostly Camille's. Crystal glasses gleam under Mom's prized chandelier. The table is set with the good china reserved for special occasions. Never my birthdays. Merlot. Mom offers, already pouring. "Just water, thanks." I want a clear head for what's coming. Dad takes his seat at the head of the table, his domain secure. "So, Emery, that car must have set you back. Financing these days is a trap, you know. Those dealers will say anything to get you to sign." I sip my water. No financing needed for most of it. The silence that follows feels heavy, pressing down on the room. Mom busies herself serving pot roast, her specialty, while Dad clears his throat repeatedly. Camille glances between us, sensing the tension. "The Thompson Hotel project must have gone well," she offers, reaching for the salt. "It did," I say, cutting a small piece of meat. The client was very pleased. "Hotels are risky investments," Dad says, stabbing a carrot with his fork. "Tourism fluctuates. You should be saving for retirement, not spending on depreciating assets." "Harold," Mom warns softly. "What?" "I'm just saying what any responsible parent would." Big purchases at her age. I eat methodically, letting his words slide over me. The same dismissal, different day. I've heard this lecture my whole life. My university choice was too costly, my apartment in the wrong area, my career too unstable. Dinner continues with cautious small talk, the weather, Camille's upcoming recital, the neighbors' renovations. Not once does anyone mention my birthday. When we finish, I stand and retrieve the cake box from the sideboard. The table falls silent as I place it in the center, directly under the chandelier. With deliberate care, I lift the lid. "A happy birthday, Emery," from me to me stares up at them in elegant script on white frosting. Mom's hand flies to her mouth. "Oh, Emery, we didn't." My voice is steadier than I expect. For 30 years, my birthdays were forgotten while Camille's moments were celebrated like royalty. Dad shifts uncomfortably. "Now, that's not fair, isn't it?" I meet his gaze head on. My 16th birthday. You gave me a grocery store cake while Camille had a catered party with 50 guests. My 20th birthday was the same day as Camille's college graduation. Not only did everyone forget, but you planned a family vacation to celebrate her and left me behind to watch the house. Camille's eyes widen. I never knew that. And this year, I continue, my voice growing stronger, complete silence. Not even a text. The room stills. The only sound the ticking of the grandfather clock in the corner, counting out seconds of uncomfortable truth. I stand taller, shoulders back. I gave myself the gift I deserved and I don't need anyone's approval. But 50,000 on a car. Dad sputters. It's irresponsible. Is it? I counter. The hotel project I finished, the one none of you asked about. I turned a struggling property into a destination, increased their revenue by 35%, earned an industry award and a 68,000 bonus. Imam gasps softly. That's my money, I say, earned through my talent and hard work. After decades of being invisible in this family, I decided to recognize my own worth. Mom dabs at her eyes with a napkin. Never meant to make you feel that way. It's not about intention. I say, keeping my voice even despite my pounding heart. It's about 30 years of consistent actions, creating a family where one child matters and the other doesn't. Dad stares at his plate, uncharacteristically silent. Camille reaches toward me, then pulls back. I never realized. Yes, you should have. I say, sharper than intended, but I don't apologize. But you're not the architect of this family dynamic. You just benefited from it. I turn to my parents. I don't need you to suddenly start celebrating me. That ship sailed long ago. What I need is for you to understand that I celebrate myself now. I value myself, and I won't apologize for it. Dad clears his throat. Families are complicated, Emery. We've always been proud of you. Have you? I ask. When was the last time you attended one of my design showcases? Put a photo of my projects on the mantle next to Camille's recital programs. Introduced me first when meeting new people. A mom's tears fall freely now. Dad looks stricken as if seeing me clearly for the first time. I stand, gathering my purse. I'm not asking for apologies or promises to change. I'm stating facts. This family's dynamic has been unbalanced for 30 years, and I've finally stopped accepting it as normal. I close the cake box, leaving it in the center of the table. The cake's chocolate, Dad's favorite. I say, my smile feeling unfamiliar. Consider it my birthday gift to you all. Raindrops scatter across my windshield like tiny jewels, catching the glow of Seattle's city lights. I guide my Audi through the quiet streets, fingers wrapped around the leather steering wheel. With every mile between me and my parents' Bellevue home, the knot in my chest loosens. I replay the confrontation. Their faces when I opened the cake box, the silence after my words. For 30 years, my birthdays were forgotten, while Camille's moments were celebrated like royalty. My voice hadn't wavered once. I pass the Space Needle, glowing against the night sky. From some angles, it looks like a UFO hovering over downtown, ready to launch. Tonight, it feels like a beacon, reminding me that sometimes you must reach impossible heights to be seen. At my apartment building, I sit in the car for a few minutes, watching raindrops race down the windshield. The leather seats still smell new, the dashboard lights glowing soft blue in the dark. This car isn't just a vehicle, it's proof I can give myself what no one else would. Inside, my apartment feels different, though the furniture and art are the same. The space hums with new energy, as if the woman who left this morning isn't the one who returned. My phone buzzes repeatedly. I pour a glass of wine before checking. 3 messages from Mom, 1 from Dad, 1 from Camille. Mom's first, we never meant to hurt you like that. You have to understand. Second, your father and I love both our girls equally. Always have. Third, a please call me back. We need to talk as a family. Dad's is brief, awkward. Family unity matters more than any misunderstanding. Let's not let this create a divide and misunderstanding. As if 30 years of neglect were a simple mix-up, I sip my wine and open Camille's message of can we meet tomorrow, just us. Coffee at Elm Street near Pike Place at 10. I stare at her text for a long time. Of all the reactions I anticipated, Camille wanting to meet alone wasn't one. My thumb hovers over the screen before I types, I'll be there. To my parents, I send nothing. Morning brings a thin fog over Elliott Bay. I arrive at the coffee shop 10 minutes early, choosing a window table to watch for Camille. She walks in 5 minutes late, her concert pianist posture unmistakable even in casual clothes. Our eyes meet, and something in her expression, vulnerability I've rarely seen, catches my heart. "I got you a lat," I say as she sits. "Thanks." She wraps her hands around the mug but doesn't drink. "Am I?" Her voice breaks, tears springing to her eyes. I sit still, stunned. In 30 years, I've seen Camille cry twice, when she broke her wrist at 14, fearing she'd never play piano again. And when she got into Juilliard, "I never saw it until now," she whispers, blinking rapidly. I was so caught up in my own life. The confession lingers between us, the first honest words we've shared as adults. "Did you really never notice?" I ask, softer than intended. "All those years." Camille stares at her untouched coffee. "I think I assumed you were fine with it. You were always at my recitals, cheering louder than anyone." She looks up, tears spilling. "But no one came to your architecture exhibits, not even me." The admission stings, though it's no surprise. "I never stood up for you," she continues. "Not when Mom and Dad forgot your high school graduation party. Not when they rescheduled your college graduation dinner for my summer concert series." She reaches for my hand across the table. I was blind to my own privilege in our family. I let her hold my hand but stay silent. What is there to say to a lifetime of being unseen? "I'm so sorry, Emery," she says, 4 simple words, somehow meaning more from her than they would from our parents. Later that week, Mom calls. I almost let it go to voicemail, but something makes me answer. "Emery," she says, her voice cautious. "I was looking at your company's website, the hotel redesign you did last year. It's beautiful." The compliment feels strange, unfamiliar from her. Dad calls the next day. "That car," he says gruffly. "It suits you." From him, it's practically a love letter. Camille texts more often now, asking about my work, sharing less about hers. In family group chats, she includes me deliberately, correcting our parents when they slip into old habits of overlooking my life. I observe these changes cautiously. 30 years of patterns don't vanish overnight. But something has shifted, like the first crack in a dam holding back too much water for too long. In my apartment's quiet, I run my fingers along the Audi key fob on my coffee table, the talisman that broke the spell. I wonder if family dynamics can truly change after decades, or if we're just playing new roles in the same old script. The rain begins again, tapping my windows. Tonight, it doesn't sound mournful, it sounds like applause. A week later, rain taps a soft rhythm on my windshield as I drive across Lake Washington toward Bellevue. The car's leather scent still lingers, a reminder of transformation every time I slide behind the wheel. My phone pings with another text from Mom. Her third today. "We're so looking forward to seeing you, sweetheart. Drive safely." I tap my fingers on the steering wheel, adjusting to this new version of Margot Blake, who texts, asks about my work, and seems genuinely interested in my existence. The invitation came 3 days ago as special family dinner on Friday, Mom had said, her voice tinged with unusual hesitation. "Nothing fancy, just the 4 of us." I nearly declined. After 30 years, 6 months feels too short to trust real change. But something in her tone sounded different, earnest, almost nervous. So here I am, crossing the bridge linking my new life to the old. My redesigned apartment, with its bold colors and statement furniture, fades in the rearview mirror. Ahead lies the tree-lined street of my childhood, where I learned to vanish. I turn onto my parents' block and spot something unexpected: blue and silver balloons tied to the mailbox, dancing in the breeze. A knot forms in my throat. I park behind Dad's truck and sit for a moment, steadying myself. Through the windshield, I see Mom peek through the living room curtains, waving with a tentative smile. The front door opens before I reach it. "Emery," Mom says, stepping forward to hug me. Her embrace lingers longer than usual, her perfume familiar yet different in this new dynamic. "You look wonderful." "Thanks," I say, following her inside. The house smells of roasting chicken and something sweet, cinnamon, perhaps. "What's the occasion?" I ask. Mom's eyes flick toward the dining room. "Why don't you see for yourself?" I round the corner and freeze. The dining room table, usually set with plain white plates for family dinners, sparkles with the good china and crystal glasses. A vase of fresh flowers sits center stage beside a large white box from Macrina Bakery. Blue and silver streamers hang from the chandelier. Surprise, Dad says, rising awkwardly from his chair. Better late than never, I suppose. Camille steps forward from behind him, clutching a wrapped package. Happy belated birthday, Em. I stand frozen in the doorway, unable to process the scene. Dad gestures toward the cake box. Go ahead, he says, his voice gruff with what might be embarrassment. Open it. With numb fingers I lift the lid. A chocolate cake with buttercream frosting, inscribed in elegant blue script, Happy belated 30th birthday. Emery. I know we can't undo the past. Dad continues, eyes fixed over my shoulder, but your mother and I have been thinking about how we've not been as attentive as we should have been. The understatement hangs in the air. 30 years of forgotten birthdays and overlooked achievements reduced to not attentive. Camille presses her gift into my hands. Open mine first. Inside the wrapping I find a sleek black frame. Behind the glass is a professional photo of the hotel lobby I redesigned. The project that earned my bonus, gave me the courage to buy my car, changed everything. Beside it, a review from Seattle Architecture Monthly praises the bold vision and flawless execution. I had it printed and framed. Camille says, watching my face. Thought you could hang it in your office. Thank you. I whisper, genuinely touched. This is perfect. We sit for dinner. The conversation stilted but sincere. Mom serves my favorite chicken marsala, a dish she's made countless times for Camille but rarely for me. Dad asks about my current projects with awkward interest. Camille fills silences with stories from her music studio. We wanted to make up for missing your birthday, Mom says as we serve the cake. The words catch me off guard. Not an acknowledgement of decades, just one missed occasion. Dad nods, cutting into his slice. Your mother feels terrible about it. I set my fork down. It wasn't just my 30th birthday. Dad, the table quiets. Dad looks uneasy, glancing at Mom for rescue. I know, Mom says finally. We've missed a lot, made you feel less important. Second place, I say softly, or no place at all. The cake sits half-eaten as I continue. I appreciate tonight. I really do, but I need you to understand something. I'm not looking for makeup celebrations or guilt-driven attention. I look at each of them. Dad, who still doesn't quite grasp my career. Mom, who's trying but missing the point. Camille, who seems genuinely sorry for her unwitting role. What I want is respect, I say, recognition that I exist, that my achievements matter, that my presence in this family counts. Dad shifts in his chair. Of course you count, Emery. You've always counted. Have I ask. When was the last time you came to my design exhibitions or asked about my career without me prompting? When did you ever prioritize my events over Camille's? Silence falls, heavier now. Things will be different. Mom promises, reaching for my hand. I let her take it, but my voice stays steady. They already are different because I'm different. I decide my worth now, not anyone else. The words linger. Not angry, just certain. For the first time I feel the power shift in this room. No longer the forgotten daughter chasing scraps of attention, but a woman setting her terms. Fair enough, Dad says, nodding slowly. We've got some catching up to do. Camille raises her water glass. To new beginnings and better birthdays. I lift my glass to meet hers, studying the faces around the table. My imperfect family, trying their imperfect best to mend what's broken. Not because I forced them with my car purchase, but because my act of self-worth showed them who I am. The cake tastes sweet, not perfect, but good enough, like this moment. Not everything I dreamed, but perhaps what I need. To new boundaries, I amend, my voice firm, and to celebrating ourselves when no one else remembers. A year later, my phone's soft ping wakes me. I squint at the screen, surprised by a text from Dad. Happy birthday, Emery. Hope it's a good one. A simple, direct, a stark contrast to last year's silence. More notifications arrive as I brush my teeth. Mom sent flowers. Camille wants to take me to lunch. My colleagues have planned something at the office. The difference from my 30th birthday feels like warm sunlight after a year of storms. I slide into my Audi, running my hand over the leather steering wheel. For a year, this car has been my daily reminder of the moment I chose to value myself. Today, it carries me toward a birthday others finally remember. At the design firm, my team surprises me with champagne and a towering chocolate cake. My assistant, Ben, raises a toast to Emery, whose Harborview Hotel redesign just secured us the Westlake Tower contract. The client specifically requested you. The praise washes over me, and I accept it without deflecting. Last year I'd have mumbled something self-deprecating. Today I raise my glass. Thank you all. I couldn't ask for better colleagues. Later, Camille meets me at our favorite waterfront restaurant. She seems different, more present, less self-absorbed. I reserved the table with the best view, she says, leading me to a window seat overlooking Elliott Bay. She hands me a small wrapped box. It's not much, but inside is a silver compass pendant inscribed for the woman who found her own direction. It's perfect, I say, genuinely touched. Camille reaches across the table. I've been thinking about what you said last year, about being invisible. I never realized what it cost you to cheer for me all those years. I clasp the pendant around my neck. We can't change the past. No, she agrees, but I can do better now. After lunch, I drive to Cary Park Viewpoint. The Seattle skyline stretches before me, the Space Needle piercing a rare clear September sky. My phone rings. Mom. Happy birthday, sweetheart, she says, her voice warm but cautious. Did you get the flowers? They're beautiful, Mom. Thank you. A pause. Your father and I wondered if you'd join us for dinner this weekend. Nothing fancy, just family. You family. The word feels different now, less heavy with expectation and disappointment. I'd like that. I say, Saturday would work. The invitation feels genuine, not a demand disguised as a question. The subtle shift feels monumental. Back home. A package waits outside my door, Camille's handwriting on the label. Inside is a handmade scrapbook, pages filled with moments I thought no one noticed. My college graduation, my first design award, clippings about the Harborview project. A note slips from the pages. I see you now. I'm sorry it took so long. I trace my fingers over a photo of myself beside my Audi, taken the day I bought it. The day I stopped waiting for validation and claimed it myself. From my desk drawer, I pull a recent photo of me with my design team at the hotel opening and paste it into the scrapbook, completing the story of my journey. Afternoon light slants through my window as I weigh my evening plans. Mom and Dad's dinner invitation. A birthday gathering, friends planned at Elliott's Ooster House. Both options remain open, free of obligation. For the first time, the choice is truly mine. Whatever I decide, I'll celebrate on my terms. Standing before my mirror, I fasten Camille's compass around my neck. My reflection shows a woman who knows her worth, never depended on family recognition. It was always there, waiting to be claimed. My car keys glint on the counter, catching the light. The Audi wasn't just a purchase, it was a declaration, a promise to myself to never again wait for others to acknowledge my milestones. Some gifts change more than what you own. They change who you are.